I'm Al Carlow. I've been in Prescott about 4 years now. My background, I've been involved in big corporate environments and efforts. I worked at, for example, GE, where I was involved in buying huge companies, integration manager. So you're used to multiple functions and everything. So you're working with, marketing, operations, legal, finance, all those areas. Educational background, I've got an undergrad in business and MBA in finance. I've been involved with different organizations here since we got into Prescott. The Chamber of Commerce, I've been on the Economic Development Committee for about three and a half years. Been on the Government Affairs Committee for about the same time. Got involved in a few other efforts, but I was also involved in the 2050 groups. The studies that were done, a few years ago, I was the chairperson of the Senior Issues Subcommittee. Also, after I got here, I was working at Tender Hearts as an elder care advisor. I got my certified senior advisor and working with that, so that's why I got involved in the elder care issues. And now I've been, obviously running for Prescott City Council.
And why did you decide to run for council?
Well, a couple of reasons. I mean, obviously, one is something that I wanted to do almost since moving here. That's why I got slowly involved in things and working with people. I think there's a lot that I can give back. Plus, I think I have a balanced business background. I mean, not only a large corporate environment, but trying to get startup companies going. So I've got from almost one extreme to the other. And I just think there's a lot that I can be involved here and offer from my background, but obviously it's also a learning curve for anybody involved here. So.
You had about 3 weeks to gather the signatures. How many did you turn in? What's the initial count?
The count was 890, so it's been quite an effort. Obviously it's a little bit of tension and running around and trying to get all those. I mean, obviously we had a good support with a lot of people here, and that was key. That's not a 1 or 2 or 3 person effort in that short time.
Yeah. Right. And you understand it's obviously a 2-year seat.
Yes.
And do you have any particular goals for those 2 years?
Well, I mean, we as a city, there's a lot of issues that we have. Of course, the 2012 budget is a very key thing. I mean, not only the numbers, but what's our priorities, what's the operating budget, what's the capital budget, what do we look at? Our core services, of course, we want to maintain our core services and potentially even improve them because, that's always an area there that we're trying to look at, good service levels. So those are critical things. Of course, the other part of it is call it economic development. So those are they all interrelate and are tied together. How do we continue to get good sales revenue and so forth, sales tax and so forth for revenue.
Now, one of the topics of conversation lately has been the Trader Joe's deal. How do you feel about that?
Okay, well, that's an interesting thing. I mean, the numbers that I understand and everything, I think it is a good use of funds. Obviously, it's a questionable thing and something that, 2, 3, 5 years ago, we probably wouldn't have done exactly that way. But when you look at the revenue that'll bring in, obviously some jobs and everything like that, and the better use of the money, that probably was a good thing. If we're serious about things like economic development, we have to do similar things. Call it public, the PPP, the public-private partnerships. I mean, you hear about those things, and that's probably what will need to be done in a lot of areas. Now, is it the perfect solution? No, and like I say, if we would have been talking 2 to 3 to 5 years ago, that probably would have not been what we would have done as a city, or for that matter, any government entity,
And there's the extra aircraft deal that's being worked on. We don't know yet, what's going to happen with that. Do you think that that's a good opportunity for the city also? Well,
what I understand about it, yes, it sounds that way because they'd be bringing in, obviously, the manufacturing here, light manufacturing, so that's good. The numbers I've heard are about potentially over 100 jobs next year, obviously grown to a couple hundred or more over a few-year period. But there's also it sounds like some outsourcing capabilities here. If there's certain functions that can be done here, in addition to the manufacturing part. Sounds like something that'll be some decent wages and probably some benefits for people. So yes, that should help current residents here. I mean, this is not bringing in new people, obviously a few, but so that should be a win-win.
And are these the kind of efforts that you think that you can help with your background and expertise?
Sure. And the reason is, among other things, like I say, I've been involved in big corporations, but I have a lot of operations background, but what I really have also is business development. And business development, if you look at it in a large aspect, it includes things like sales, merger and acquisition, partnerships, all the areas that involve growth and business development. That's what we as a city need to look at too. Obviously, pick and choose, opportunities and so forth.
Okay, anything you want to add?
No, I'm obviously excited this phase of the signatures is over. Now, obviously, I'll be involved in, getting much more involved in the learning curves and everything of what's going on and current agendas and so forth. And I look forward to doing that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.